So that this book is to share who I am so I can let others know that my life was not in vain. My purpose is to be here now to create the Ascension age. So there's my purpose statement. I want everybody to write your purpose. I'm following the ACE Nonprofit, Inc. to continue my work for the Ascension Center, Universal Life on Planet Earth. I know that time seems to go faster and faster as I live and get older by the hour, day, week, and year. I also have learned how valuable time can be to someone who remains busy. I believe we should all have free will, and I live in the United States where I enjoy certain creature comforts in life such as food, clothing, shelter, jobs, and transportation to and from my job, and I enjoy entertainment. I want to share something that I found that gave me a way to look at what I am creating. Just yesterday, I decided to follow the ACE nonprofit where I live in Kentucky. Well, now, folks, just to let you know, this is old, and this is, I'll explain later, but I'm now in the Gulf Panhandle where there's a storm. It's thundering and raining outside, and I hope it doesn't get worse. But it's the leftovers, I guess, from a tropical. And it's not a hurricane yet, I don't think, but I haven't been listening to the news. Anyway, I don't live in Kentucky, so just a note on this Chapter 1. Time capsule. I have in the past begun the Ascension Center Hawaii, Inc. in Honolulu, Hawaii. Now, this is where Tommy comes in, because Tommy, all these years, has stuck with me for 8 years, knowing about my Ascension Center Hawaii and my articles and bylaws, and he said, I'll stay with the ACO, because we did ACO and ACE, and I think he was listening to me about the what it meant to me in the acronyms, and as above, so below, and the power of 3. But anyway, so he's holding my Ascension Center Hawaii, and so is Janet, just in different ways. He's on the Big Island, and we won't get into all the politics of why they're not on the same island anymore, but that's part of his history, and you can actually go back. It's all recorded right here. You go all the way back to June 2012 right here on this channel on TJ Morris CT Radio. But this is a story that goes this whole process of how I became interested in the word ascension, and I put that in quotes, and decided to create the Ascension Center, also in quotes. I have shared the original websites for Ascension Center, which is now Ascension.Center, and have the energy for a long time. I've held the energy. It's called holding the energy. That's what Janet and Tommy do for me for the Ascension Center and the Ascension Church today. I had the Ascension Center before I read the Celestine Prophecy book. A lot of y'all might remember Celestine Prophecy. I put that in quotes. And thought, what a wonderful book. It was fascinating to me because it took me on an adventure in my mind, not knowing if it was real or fiction. The point was that it took me on an adventure where I could visualize, and it was like a wonderful treasure hunt. I'm opening the TJ Morris Treasure Show and the ACO LLC. Now, this was back, before my husband died, so these are old thoughts. But the next chapter is about December 93, what I found 20 years later. I was driven and yet not sure what it is that is driving force. It is as if I cannot help myself. I know that I may fail, and yet I believe that I will be successful for as long as I'm supposed to do this. It's like there are certain things in life we call destiny or fate. I found this paper that says out of a possible 99 on a score test to return to college in 2002 that I made a 98 in writing. This empowered me to believe I may have the ability to write. I hope you, the reader, think I could write on various topics, so since I want to be a writer to communicate my thoughts and to feel closer to others. My own family and friends probably will not read this book, and I can only hope that my 4 daughters find some time to one day appreciate that their mother wanted to become a writer like her mother before her. Mother wanted to become a writer. In her lifetime, she did not know how to get a book published herself. Mother was a writer for magazines and was so happy when she got a check for writing modern romance, which was read mainly by women. I've decided to use this time on Earth to share this as a book in case someone may happen across it on the internet in our new cyberspace culture. I can type fast as long as I don't try to analyze what I am writing about, so please be prepared for me simply to visit with you to allow you to get to know me and what I am while here on this planet. I've been called an alien or ET contactee by people in the business of ufology. I am a writer for UFO Digest and just celebrated my 7-year anniversary. So this was written 2014 because I started with him in 2007 with a particular e-zine online, UFO Digest. I also have a radio show and several blogs and a couple of e-zines of my own, one called American News Magazine and the other a new news guide. I haven't really done much with those two and have done what I could to promote the brands Ace Folklife and Ascension Center. I am driven with a passion now to share what I know in cyberspace. I'm also going to begin a brick and mortar where people can find me in my books. I did that already, so I'm just letting you know, that's a quick note. Not just my books, but other authors' books. That's where Tommy would come in. So if you want to know me and my books, please look for both of us online and in person. I hope you enjoy my life and its enchanted development. I found something from over 20 years ago, and I found it interesting. So this is where I am, and this is what I'm sharing to begin this book. I've always wanted to share my life story from beginning to end with that which I found to be most interesting and almost mystical as an enchanted life. I'm writing this so others can get to know me and hope they also have a life similar to mine as enchanted development. Get in touch with me if you like this book and let me know about your own enchanted development. I will make this short and a series so we can begin a life together. Maybe you can join my Dharma purpose and find a place in the Ascension Center with me. I am just the founder-creator of the first Ascension Center on Earth and can share that I began using those two words on Earth back in Hawaii in 1993. I'll make this a short beginning to get this out there to share in a life of writing books that are short e-books to get involved with others who may want to join me in my social clubs. I have several, but want to put them all under one category or the other. One is ACE, ACE, for the volunteers who desire to be in my club as authors continuing education. And the other is ACO for those who are independent contracts, such as agents, consultants, and organizers. Hope you make a choice or both. TJ Morris, ET. Now, here's Chapter 2, Channeled Automatic Writing, because Tommy can talk forever. He's just, once I give him the floor, because he and I haven't worked on, unless we timed it for 5 minutes in panels. But we're learning, folks, so how to be together. Now, Tommy, this is Chapter 2, but I asked him because we're going to talk about this, and he needs something to work with so he can help me because he was telling me why. I said, why am I, yesterday on a show he did with me, I said, Tommy, why am I seem to be getting older and talking country. So he spiked my interest because why would I ask him in the first place what I'm feeling or what's happening to me? I mean, so think about that. You know, something's happened to me. I feel like I'm changing, and I should know, having died and lived as my own essence. We all have our own. We actually say we don't ask a question that we don't already own the answer to, okay? Just so you know. But I asked him, and because I trust him. He's a good friend of mine. We've never met. It's strictly a soul group that goes around in the universes that travel together, and then somehow we're supposed to meet on Earth, but we've never met. But we've spent 8 years in radio together. Never met. Now, he met Janet. So him and Janet have a history, and I met Janet. So he met Janet, and I met Janet. And remember, I met her at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. Actually, it was Michael Jackson came to see me because of my, what I'm talking about here was my Ascension Center, and I had the Psychic Awakening classes. And he saw an advertisement in the newspaper, and or he learned from his brothers that were through one of my companies, and his brothers were making T-shirts with Gulu Wadamul, another guy that was in my company. Well, they were investors, we'll say, or they actually were contributors back in the day in Hawaii. Now, this chapter 2, and Tommy and I are going to talk about this. Thank y'all for calling in. I can see y'all. I appreciate y'all helping me. But how can someone that has the Ascension Master ability to come and go, know their essence, know their about being out there, and promoting Ascension Center and Ascension Age and starting the Ascension Church Ohana, and it's mostly for metaphysicians, but I say Jesus was the greatest metaphysician of all the stories you hear, and even whether we believe or not, it's a story out there. But we say the Bible is the basic instruction before leaving Earth for those of y'all in the metaphysical, spiritual, enchanted development world with the Ascension Church Ohana. But now this channeled automatic writing, now this was what I found. It's December 1st, 1993 at 1:30. I found this August 29th, 2014, and read it on my TJ Morris ET radio show the same day. It means something, but what? I will let you, the readers, decide, but since this is now an oral book, it's going on today's show, and Tommy's going to help me, I hope, because it's, I need feedback. Even if I already know all the answers, we need to communicate with each other and ask another not really the person, or I'm not asking his brain or mind or his container or his car, and asking what drives that car, his inner, and he knows what I'm talking about, his inner soul, that part of him that was created by his God. Because we all have a choice, like we all have a body, like we all have a vote. Not everybody has a car, but everybody has something that's driving their human form. But anyway, back to this channeled automatic writing that I found. It says, I found this August 29, 2014, so I must have wrote this little book after that, and read it on my TJ Morris ET radio show the same day. It means something, but what? I will let you, the reader, decide. As a reader, one doesn't have to believe it, only that something that is a part of me felt inspired to try automatic writing. And this was what I received. Now, remember the date is December 1, 1993. It's at 1:30 in the afternoon, back when I was living in Hawaii, Tommy. Okay? So I don't know if that was before I met Michael Jackson and was his psychic or after. But he booked a hotel downtown, and we met. But he first met me on Diamond Head. But Tommy, I think Tommy knows about that stuff a long time ago. But being that I am an Ascension Master teacher, there are ways I choose to be a student, as the best teachers are always students. We all are students and teachers, and I am choosing to share what I learned about me with others. This way, we can all have an open mind and analyze this together. You can get in touch with me and share your own automatic writing, channeled material. And we'll see if Tommy's done some and if he's written a channeled book. Is this one of my past lives, or simply an echo of time past with things that I have read in this lifetime? Now, these are questions I was asking myself. Okay? So my name, now this is the part that sort of freaks me out, Tommy. My name is Tara, T-E-R-A-H, Tara, T-A-R-A in parentheses. Now, Tommy knows the green Tara. I'm not saying that. I think part of me, because I came in as Tara, a male and female, that there's sparks of our soul or essence that's shared in different beings, our spirits or guides, just like we're parts of God, but we're not. Well, we can get into all that later, but we're going to be very positive today. I pledged to my daughter, I promise my daughter will be positive today. But this says, I am of male gender in remembrance of my time spent on earth